Good morning, my fellow yoga travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too, as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, live the life we love. Don't forget to loaf and hydrate along the way. All right, today it's called Journey to the Center, and I just wanted to share some slides that give you the idea that all of our ancestors understood that there was a sacred center, a place where you went back to renew your contact with the origins of life, with where creativity and healing and spirituality flow from. Hopefully, you can connect to the ideas and find your sacred space because any place, since omnipresence means present everywhere, absent nowhere, any place can be a breakthrough. It depends on what you're attuned to, and I guess you could say what your karma is in terms of what you're going to connect to. So Shiva, of course, we start because Shiva is the Lord of the yoga. Even though Krishna is the Lord of yogis, but Shiva is the Lord of yoga. He's also the god of destruction in terms of generating, organizing, and destructive principles, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And so he's the one that rules over the yogic world. And he's also the cosmic phallus. So he represents not only the god of destruction, but the Lord of creation in his realm. He loves to meditate, hates to be disturbed in his meditation, and so forth. Nonetheless, he's one example of a pilgrimage to Shiva. All right, let's move on. Now, you also have the idea of the maze, right? The convoluted back and forth movement that eventually takes you to the center. It's not designed to get you stuck in it. So it's a labyrinth, but eventually, by trying this way, trying that way, you find your way to the center. It's sometimes also called the axis mundi, or as you'll see, the world tree. And although most people think in the material world, the roots of the tree are in the ground and grows up towards heaven, but in the spiritual world, the roots are in the celestial realms and it goes down into earth. Or as my teacher says, the higher you go, the more you come down to earth. The shamanic celestial tree, it's another example of people who understood there's something that bridges this world to the other world. And sometimes the Indian fakirs would do this ritual dismemberment. They would have the novice climb up the tree, disappear, and then it would seem like the shaman would dismember them, and their hands and feet and body would fall from the sky, and then the shaman would put them back together again. Think about that symbolism. Also, sometimes called the world navel. Mm-hmm. Here's another vision of it, the umphalos, like the umbilical cord, get it? Everything springs from this one point. All right, it can be symbolized by the Egyptian tombs. It can be symbolized by the mosque in Islamic countries. It can be the Russian minarets in Red Square. It can be the Greek temple to Athena or Zeus or Aphrodite. The Romans copied it in the same way. They had their deities. This was the center where the worship would happen. The Babylonian temple, same idea. Notice the similarity both in structures and four directions that the temple faces in. The Shiva Lingam, the combination of the male and female, that represents the uniting of these two polar powers to produce creation. The Sufi temple in Delhi, Native American teepee with a hole in the top so the smoke can rise up to the sky, completely integrated with the land. The same thing for the first peoples in the Northwest. Their totem pole represents the same kind of object to center yourself and experience your connection to the creature teachers. The Rapa Nui in Eastern Island have the same idea, looking to the horizon. The statues represent the ancestors who speak wisdom to the traditions that come after them. The ziggurat that existed all throughout the Mesopotamia area. the church spire in the Christian tradition, the pyramids, even though they were funerary objects, they represented the whole religious structure of the tradition. The Mosque of Omar in Jerusalem, that the Muslims adore, the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem's temple, the Golden Temple of Amritsar for the Sikhs, Machu Picchu for the Aztec, Mayan, and Incans, and the same kind of ziggurat temple that the Mesoamericans used. And then even the Druids, the Stonehenge people, the people in the Neolithic times that somehow understood how to honor the equinox and the solstice by building structures that reflected exactly when the sun would be at the horizon at different times of the year. And don't forget that both the Chinese temples and the Japanese temples did the same thing. I'm going to stop here, but I think you get the idea. This is an aspiration that all humanity has. When you think of spirit as being that which is heavenwards or up in the sky or rarefied, then the buildings give you that exalted feeling, that excited feeling, that euphoric feeling. Sacred architecture helps the mind to shift out of its own worldly preoccupations into something deeper and more vast. So, how do you know you found sacred space? Did it regenerate you so you feel like you can begin again? Then it really works. Have a great day. I'm on my way to Mexico. I'll see if I can still continue to put out some Dharma talks, or I might just make it easy on myself and send previous Dharma talks from a year or two ago that for many people you still probably haven't seen it because not everybody watches everyone every time. All right. God bless you all. Thanks for listening. And I love it when people contact me, so feel free.